everyone! So I thought I would answer the rest of the questions that Maciek sent me, and hopefully if you guys have some more questions you can leave them in the comment box below and I'll try to answer them as well. His next question is, why weren't you part of the old Athene crew even though you were the only person with real background in acting there? Is it because their videos were a bit too explicit and improper sometimes? I actually was part of the old Athene crew. The first project we ever started was a movie project, and there's actually a scene online between me and Ian. It was a pretty cool movie. Dean had written the script and I was doing the acting training with everyone, and I don't really have a professional background in it. I took theater classes for 10 years and they were always given by people who had a degree in the theater world, but it's not really super professional, so I was just trying to get everyone sort of into the vibe of acting and comfortable with speaking English, because a lot of them, I think Bashir, Tanya and Ian even, had never really spoken English fluently in everyday life, so it's actually difficult to get used to, and we worked a lot on pronunciation and vocabulary and acting, and Reese helped a lot because he also did some theater for a year, and Dean also helped a lot, and it was a really fun project, but we just realized very soon that we didn't have the means or the professional crew and actors to pull it off perfectly. So we dropped that project. They started another one that I was less involved in because I was starting my first year of university. And then they started the Athene videos, in which I appeared a couple of times. I don't know if you guys remember which ones I appeared in. I did a few, but not too many. Not because I thought they were too explicit or improper, but I guess they were funny. They were just not really my thing all the time. There are a few, the old school Athene videos that I find hilarious, but not all of them have that sort of humor that I relate to. Would you consider acting a nude or sex scene in a movie, assuming it's justified in the script? If yes, would you consider your parents' boyfriend's opinion before making a decision? I would be more inclined to do nudity or sex scenes or whatever if there's implied nudity, if you don't really see anything. I don't really have an issue with full nudity, it's just that it would really need to be an excellent director and writer. Aaron Sorkin and Joss Whedon are probably the only ones who could get me to do scenes like that. So there you go. Whedon, Sorkin, if you're watching, let me know. I would do that. I would consider my boyfriend's opinion, and I would consider it even more if he didn't start off by saying, I don't want you to do this. I think it's nicer to just give your opinion, but make sure that the choice is always your own. So if no one's imposing their opinion, I would be more inclined to listen to that. Would you bungee jump or go on a roller coaster? I'm afraid of heights, so bungee jumping is a no-no. Roller coasters are fine, unless they go upside down. I had this thing when I was 6 and I was in Florida with my parents. We were in Epcot Center, I think, and there was a ride that went upside down, but we didn't know, and you're supposed to be 12 to go on. But the guy's like, no, you're fine. And I was 6, which is really too young, and it went upside down and I almost fell out, and it was super scary and I was crying and it was sad. So since then I've never really gone on a roller coaster that goes upside down. Weird childhood traumas. What's your favorite season? I love autumn. I like watching the whole neighborhood here transform when it's autumn. And I love that you can wear hats. It's not too cold and it's not too warm, and I get to wear all my hats. What's your view on euthanasia and abortion? Wow, that's not a very light question. I have no issue with either of them. I think it's always a personal choice, and I support everyone's right to make that choice for themselves. Regardless of whether I think it's right or wrong in that particular situation for that particular person, I think both matters should always be a personal choice, and being against them would be, to me, a sign of disrespect towards that person's lifestyle and values and right to choose. So I'm not against them, which doesn't mean that I always think it's the right option or the wrong option, but I'm always in favor of letting the other person choose what's best for him or her. Would you rather act in a classical Shakespeare play in theater or in a modern TV show like Entourage, assuming you get paid the same for both? That's a really difficult one because I'm an English literature major, so I'm supposed to love Shakespeare, but people are gonna hate me for this. I've always thought that Shakespeare's a bit overrated. He was great, don't get me wrong, but there were a lot of great authors from that period and before and after, and I'm not a huge Shakespeare fan. I appreciate what he's done for literature, and all the stuff that he's written is interesting, but I'm not a huge Shakespeare fan, so I think I would opt for a more modern TV show like Entourage, not necessarily Entourage, but anything by Joss Whedon or Aaron Sorkin. I would pay them. If I could play in that, I would definitely pay them. Do you consider yourself to be an extrovert or an introvert? I think it depends on the situation. I'm usually pretty easygoing and I can get along with anyone, but when there's a really uncomfortable situation, I can get really shy and silent. I guess I sort of adapt to the situation quite easily, if that's an answer to your question, which it probably isn't. Do you have a secret private YouTube channel other than Twinklybird? I don't, which is why you get this mix of everything. Sketches and vlogs and question videos and literature videos. I'm sorry, I don't have a private YouTube channel, which is why I share everything with you guys. And then, is there a question you'd like to add to this questionnaire and answer? Not really. Not really. I think that's a great question to end with, though. I used to ask the same question when I had to take interviews from people during my education. I thought that was a great question, especially when you're interviewing celebrities, because they often have interviews and they often don't get asked the question that they really want to answer themselves, and I think that's a brilliant question to end with. So thank you so much for this questionnaire, my chick. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'd love to hear you guys answer a couple of these questions. Check out the questions in the description info and leave an answer in the comment box, or ask more questions and I'll try to answer them in the next video really soon. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Peace out!